club music, strip club music displayed all over the country on the radio stations. Strip club music displayed all over the country on the radio stations. So the kids are not really learning anything from these songs, anything concrete that would make them, you know, productive citizens. Actually, it's the opposite. So whatever they're hearing is really providing a negative effect on their brains. Telling like Future got a song Molly Percocet. That alone just says it all. Like, you encouraging kids to go and do drugs. So what do you expect? So I don't like that. But when it comes to music, you have to still have an open mind. So my suggestion is radio stations need to have a balance, man. Play some positive music. Play some club music. Play some whatever, like alternative hip hop music. Have like variety. Don't just play only the strip club sound, because that's all we're getting. Make your booty twerk. That's all we hear when it comes to hip hop every single day, and it's the same thing over and over. Now, I'm an advocate of having fun and people dancing and doing their thing, but it can't just all be about that. It just can't be all about that. It has to be like a balance. So the current state of hip hop in the US is not a balanced type of music. And whatever America does, the whole world copies. So the current state of hip hop in Africa is really hip hop coming out of South Africa, really. There are a few Liberians who are doing a little hip cool thing, and Nigerians doing some stuff. But Nigerians are mainly on the Afrobeat thing right now. They're not really too much on the hip hop thing. But the South Africans are really... Check out South African hip hop. These brothers are really rapping. Now, all the messages are not concrete either, but at least they have lyricism. So it's not whack. They have lyricism, meaning their delivery, their timing. I mean, it sounds awesome. So it's not just all concrete message. They have some concrete messages, some bad messages, but a lot of them are lyrical MCs. So I have to give a shout out to South African hip hop for doing their thing. American hip hop, we got veterans and pioneers like Nas and them that never really get airplay, and that's sad. That is so sad. I mean, come on. This Nas is like, he's like he should be like a hip hop royalty guy. Like, he should still be getting major airplay. Lauryn Hill. Look, I mean, come on. But we tend to set them to the side. Now, when it comes to that, I'm gonna talk about the corporate situation behind that. So basically, you have cats that could really rhyme, that's not getting any shine. They're not getting any play whatsoever. And then cats that don't know how to rap, but it just rap a little bit okay, are getting major record deals. Now, this one cat, what's his name? Kodak Black. I actually like Kodak Black. And the reason I like him, as strange as it may sound, I know some of his messages are about fun, girls, this and that. But the dude has a unique style. Who's rapping like him? Nobody. When Lil Wayne was doing his thing, before everybody tried to sound like Lil Wayne, everybody tried to copy or imitate Drake, and so I just feel like it should be a balance. That's all I see. Until it's a real balance. And who's controlling it? Who's controlling hip hop? You have major record labels ran by Jewish white men or Jewish men or Jewish people. I hate to make it sound like that, but that's the truth. They are the ones who are in charge of these labels. So they are the ones who are okay with 21 Savage or whoever just talking about killing people. I mean, on American radio, you have young kids listening to this stuff and they talking about killing people. Really? Like, I mean, they're advertising that it's cool to kill people on the radio. Man, this is, I mean, this has got to stop, man. It has to stop. Like, it's not even cool. It's like encouraging young kids that it's cool to shoot people left and right. That's not cool. And people wonder why we have all these mass shootings around, but yet and still this stuff is advertised and promoted on the radio every single day. So you gotta look at ahead. Who's running the labels? They're allowing this stuff, and they are also allowing the hip hop pioneers who had good messages for the black community. So if black people are not even running their own record labels, it only makes sense as to why we're getting all this stuff. We as black people, it's by time for us to stand up. If you're in your city and you're tired with nonsense hip hop music, you need to gather your group, go to the radio station, and that's where Black Lives Matter should be protesting, because it starts from there. You protest at the radio station. Tell them, look, we understand you guys have to make money, but we need a balance. We need a balance of local music. We need a balance of positive music. We need a balance of negative music. We need a balance of strip club music. So we don't need a balance. We don't just need one form of music. And we need a balance of international music too, because we got to hear what's coming from outside as well. So you talk about 5 different types of music that we have to start hearing. It can't just be all about negativity. So we protest to the radio stations and make sure they make a change. And the radio stations will not have, they will not be able to refuse that, or they will not be able to dismiss that, because if you constantly protest at their station, that's disrupting business, which means disrupting money, which means somebody's gonna have to listen. So that's how we do it. Protest at the radio station in your local community so they could change the format. And they could play their music but still give other people a chance. Give the local artists a chance. You're serving the local community, but yet and still, as a radio station, you're not even able to play local music. Really? I feel that's very, very bad. So the strategy for people who want change is, and I'm not a big fan of protesting, but if we're gonna protest, these are some of the things we have to protest. You don't want your young little daughter listening to all types of messages about sex, and then you wonder why she's 13 and getting pregnant. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be a shift. I don't want all positive music on the radio either. I don't want all lyricism on the radio either, because every single form of music will have a fan. I understand that, because I understand business. So I just feel it should be a balance. But yeah, I don't want to. My partner, my co-host, and I, we're gonna talk more about this. We're probably gonna be talking about that every single time. But as far as the current state of hip hop, it needs to change. We need a balance, and we need more black business owners, whether it's radio station, whether it's TV station, whether it's magazine. We got to get involved with things that we love the most. So if we love music so much, and you got dope boys in the hood who got money, why can't they say, oh, you know what, these stations not even trying to play our music, so we're gonna come together and open our own station, you know? And then you got the conscious rappers like myself. We got to come together and say, you know what? Let's open a conscious radio station. So we have to start buying the. And then the one thing about black folks, we gotta get out of the habit of, by the time we get our business up and running and popping, next thing you know, somebody wants to buy it out. Okay, well, they could bring the money and we could work out a better deal. Like, you're not gonna buy my entire company, but I'll give you 20%. And that 20% doesn't mean I'm changing the format either. But you're gonna own 20%. So the ad revenues that I'm making, you'll still get your share. But I'm not changing my format because I have to feed the young kids' minds. That's what this is about. We gotta change people's mindset. So as long as people are changing their mindset on things, everything will be okay. You know. So that's the current state of hip hop. The next topic I have is on Libya. So over the past month or so, we've been hearing about this slaves trade going on in Libya. And Libya, for those of you who don't know, Libya is a North African country. So you have Libya, you have Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya. Most of these North African countries, they're connected to the Middle East, through the Mediterranean Sea. So they're kind of connected up there. People think it's not Africa, but it is. Libya is in Africa. So what's happening in Libya is this. To sum it up the best way possible, Libya's situation is very tricky. So Libya was one of the well-governed countries when Gaddafi was alive. For some reason, the U.S. decided to destabilize Libya because they didn't like Gaddafi, number one. And Gaddafi was about to do things revolutionary things to make a big change, like change the currency throughout Africa, like to use gold coins instead of using US dollar as the world currency. And that was going to shift everything. So the first thing I got to tell my black folks is this. Hear me loud and clearly. If you're ever planning to do something big, it's better to keep your mouth shut. Whether you're in a group or you're doing it by yourself. Plan to do your stuff big, but keep your mouth shut. Do not go announcing what you're going to do until it's actually done. Always do what you have to do, and then when it's done, then when you release it, then you promote it. That's a better approach for black folks. We cannot continue to take the white supremacist method of advertisement by just from the initial stages start talking everything about what we're about to do. We got to get out of that habit, because the moment you start telling what you're going to do, you're going to have a lot of deflection. You're going to have a lot of people hating. You're going to have a lot of people coming at you all kinds of ways to stop your progress. And that's why a lot of black businesses don't work. That's why a lot of black revolutionary ideas never come to light. That's why. Because we are out here telling everything that we're going to do instead of just sitting and planning what we're going to do and executing at the right moment. So Gaddafi had a meeting and there were snitches. And another thing is we gotta know the time to not deal with people who gonna snitch on us. Gaddafi had a meeting with all the leaders in Africa, with a few leaders from the Middle East too. And I bet you some of those leaders from West Africa, I'm telling you, especially places like Liberia, because Liberia is one of those countries that Liberia is a country that, was started by free slaves. Well, it was bought by the U.S. government, but it was like at the time, free slaves said they wanted to go back to Africa. They bought the land from the British and the French, and that's how Liberia came about. We never fought for our independence. Now, we did, the free slaves did fight several wars against the natives when they first got to Liberia, because the natives that was on the land was not having it, but the free slaves too, they had guns and they had guns, and at the time they were well advanced. So it was always a clash. But what was I saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, we have to learn how to strategize. Gaddafi got all those people together, and people snitched on him, and that's how the information got back to America. Next thing you know, they used Obama as a puppet to execute that plan to get rid of him. And even Obama said that that was one of the saddest moments of his entire presidency, which was getting rid of Gaddafi. So whenever you have something in mind that's going to be big and revolutionize the way how people look at life, you have to keep that shit to yourself. Sorry for cussing, but you have to keep it to yourself. Plan it well, get it financed before you put it out there. Keep it to yourself. We have to learn how to keep things to ourselves, because all that bragging and that, a common example is rappers always bragging about what they got and this and that. You don't have black daycares, you don't have black schools, but you got rappers, they like sitting on their chain alone costs $100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on you. You got your money. You wanna, as a rapper, you wanna do what you wanna do. That's fine. But I'm just saying, we gotta start looking at things like that. We gotta start looking at churches, black churches, raking in millions of dollars, but yet and still, there's no structure to where it's like there's no structure, number one, to where it's like the black whereas a black bank could hold most of that money and provide loans for people who want to establish businesses, provide mortgage loans, provide auto loans. Nothing, it's just like they collect money, put it in a white bank, and turn around on Monday and go back to the white bank and ask for a loan just to be denied. You see what I'm saying? So what is a group that's doing this thing? And pastors could say, pastors know each other. I'm kind of running out of time. I have a few more minutes. Well, actually, I have good 13 minutes. But pastors could say this. They could say, you know what? Let's get together. 5 pastors. Let's put our money in this black bank. Let's encourage this black bank to provide loans in the community. Let's encourage this black bank to provide auto loans for our people, loans for different businesses, whether it's daycare or a group home or whatever, store, gas station, it doesn't matter. And if that was happening a lot, look at the effect that would have on the entire community. This thing cannot be a one-person thing, but I mean, it's good when you have key figures in the community. It's good to give them their flowers while they are alive and doing it, because these are people who are making a change. So we have to look at that. But so the last thing I want to talk about is okay, to conclude the Libya situation, the slave trade is happening in Libya is due to the fact that the country is not stable. So the country is not stable, and you have people coming in from Morocco, people coming in from Nigeria, people coming in from other West African countries, people coming, and you have smugglers who have connections. So from Liberia, I'm gonna just give an example. From Liberia to get to Libya, you have to go through Guinea. So when you get through Guinea, the next place you might have to go through is Senegal. When you get through Senegal, next place you might have to go to is Niger. Then from Niger, then you get into Libya. But every single country has a connection with a smuggler. So a smuggler is connected from Liberia to Guinea. Another smuggler is connected from Guinea to Senegal or the Gambia. From another smuggler from the Gambia or Senegal to Niger. From Niger to Libya. And they smuggle people. It's not free. People are paying to go there. Now, the thing is, when they get there, they take all their money, and next thing you know, sometimes it's like a fake smuggling situation. So by the time they get there, if it's a fake smuggling situation, they get sold as a slave to go work for free. Basically, you know, they get sold as a slave to go work. If they still have money, the whole goal is they're trying to get to Europe. They're trying to get to Italy. All those people who are coming, there are people coming from even Ethiopia. There are people coming from Kenya. There are people coming from even what's the place name? Morocco. From even there are people coming from Syria. So people are coming from even the Middle East, coming down into Africa and going through Libya to try to get to Italy. Because when they get to Italy, they're in Europe. Then they could go to any part of Europe, because Europe has a lot of social programs. Europe is a lot better on social programs. They'll give you food stamp. They'll give you a place to stay or whatever. They'll give you money, actually. They have social programs. A lot of those migrants are actually going to work. So they're not just going to Europe just to go. You know, that's the whole concept. They're trying to get to Libya to be able to get to Europe to go to work in Europe. And Europe is a little bit more lenient, because by the time you get on the boat from Libya to get to Italy, I think they said 22. I want to believe it's 22 miles out of Libya. The rescuers from Red Cross, they'll come from Italy to help those people, those migrants, and then they'll put you in a system in Italy, and they'll register you and everything. And that's how it works. You know, and most of those migrants are able to go to Russia. They're able to go to the UK. They're able to go to all parts of Europe just by getting into Europe through Libya. So that's the whole reason they're going there. You got migrants coming from everywhere. Now, the black and white thing, basically, the migrants that look more Middle Eastern or kind of white, like white Muslim type, they treat them a little better than the darker ones coming from Nigeria and stuff like that. Those get treated. And India too. I forgot to say India. There are migrants coming from India, Pakistan as well, going into Africa through Libya to go to Europe. So it's not, people just think it's just one group of people. It's like they're coming from all different angles. They're coming from the south, which is like Nigeria, West Africa area. They're coming from Kenya. Where's the other place name? Ethiopia, Eritrea. They're coming from Sudan. They're coming from all the different areas. Then they are coming from India. They're coming from Syria into Libya to get into other parts in Italy, because Italy has a good social program. Not only Italy, most of Europe, but Italy is not one of those countries that will just turn people away, especially migrants who are looking to work. And Germany is looking for a lot of people to work. So a lot of those migrants, they find their way into Germany. So that's the whole thing. Most of them just trying to go in. They're not trying to go to Libya to work there as slaves. No, they're trying to get to. It's almost like Mexicans coming here crossing the border. It's the same thing. When they get to the border, they either get caught and sent back, or they just escape and then make it somewhere into the U.S. It's the same idea as like Mexicans. And don't believe it's only Mexicans that come through that border. Please don't, because even if you look at Cuba, If you look at Cuba, a lot of Cubans always get on boats and they try to get to Miami. If you look at Cuba, it's happening all the time. So not because it's not in the news, that means it's not happening. People are always trying to go to greener pastures, to countries that have good social programs and countries that they could work and make money. A lot of people don't even want to stay in certain countries. They just want to go there and work for a certain amount of time, save their money, and travel. So I only have about 5 more minutes. I'm gonna talk briefly about two guys, two African American guys that I really admire as far as the kind of work they have put out. But what I'm seeing is kind of crazy. So we have Dr. Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed. I'm not gonna lie, I like both guys. I was actually more into what Dr. Umar was doing prior, and then quite recently when I watched the Hidden Colors series, I only saw I think two of them. I didn't see the whole thing, but when I seen Hidden Colors, I really admire what Tariq Nasheed did. So I see these two guys are bickering, they're fighting. And it has to come to a point where I understand what Tariq said. When people are fraudulent, you have to air them out, this and that. I understand that because there are a lot of people who are about fraud. But at the same time, we got to understand this. It's easy for people. It's bad to just, as black men, you out there giving the greatest conscious advice to the community, but yet and still you can't just say, you know what, brother, I'm gonna call you and this is what we're gonna do. Let's have a debate. Instead of arguing, have a paid debate. Try to do a debate where people pay to come see y'all debate and debate on some real issues, not just debate and cuss each other out. Have a debate. Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar Johnson, both of you should have a debate, of paid situation where both of y'all could get some money out of. But let's see who who has the best information for the black community, instead of just arguing and cussing each other out and trying to disgrace each other and say this and that. Have a debate. Debate them. Umar, if you feel you're a good debater, get on there and debate the debate Tariq. Tariq, if you feel you're better at debating, and you do that all the time, by the way. Tariq goes on TV and man, the white supremacists, man, it's like they can't stand him because he knows his information, and that's good. That's really good. But you have to debate. Hash it out by debating instead of just fussing and arguing. That's all I see. Try to make some money, or big money, out of the debate. And black folks at this point, people are looking for an escape. They get in their cars, listen to bullshit music that's not feeding their brains. So you have a few enlightened brothers, and I know I'm the original African, and I'm not even gonna go there with Umar, but I'm originally from Liberia. I'm African, so I'm here for my people, but I'm here for Black America too, because I have children that are Black Americans. I consider myself a Black American. I'm an American, but I'm still an African. I'm not gonna explain all my history, but it is what it is. So I'm here for both. So we gotta be able to do this to where we can at least benefit financially. Stop arguing and doing all that bickering. Come up with a topic, call some promoters, and y'all set up a live debate and watch how much more money y'all gonna make than you see how Floyd Mayweather, he knows how to shake the system, in a way where even just promoting his event, he's making millions of dollars. I've never, just just promoting his event, he makes millions of dollars just from that. So instead of doing all that bickering and cussing each other out, man, get with some promoters and y'all do a live debate. After that, y'all shake it off and move on. And that's that. Whoever wins, wins. Who cares? You know, at the end of the day, your followers, whoever loves you is still going to be there for you. So, you know, in a nutshell, I'm going to wrap this show up. It's coming to 1 hour. I can't even believe I've been talking for a whole hour like this, but it's been a pleasure. Hopefully this will continue. Make sure to support this. It's already on Spotify, it's on Amazon, it's on iTunes. It's called Carnival. My other album, if you want something of intelligence, look for Mizonic Inspired 2. And it's on iTunes, it's everywhere. You're gonna love it. But shout out to my boy Jimmy Black, African Kings of Hip.